Karen, there's a growing chorus of Democrats calling for Congressman Weiner to resign. Is he likely to, or is his wife's pregnancy likely to mitigate those calls?
I am still very skeptical that he can survive this. I'm going to be very interested, for instance, to hear what former Speaker, now House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi has to say later today. She has a public appearance in San Francisco at a Medicare event with Kathleen Sebelius. But Anthony Weiner returns. The House has been out of session this week. That has been a blessing for him. He returns Monday to this whole firestorm just being reignited when Congress gets back into town. The Democratic caucus is going to be a very hostile place for him to be.
I wonder whether it's even worse because we're in such hard economic times, Mark.
That certainly does not help any politician who's got an ethical problem right now, because people have an expectation that we elected you to do serious work on serious problems, and you're not doing that. But then you have the poll that came out yesterday that shows that I think 56% of those that they surveyed in New York City say, well, he ought to stick around. So,
well, because I think they've looked at what he's done professionally and they agree with it, and anytime sex enters the public discourse, hypocrisy is about a nanosecond away. So Democrats who stood by Bill Clinton, who you could argue did something worse, I mean, I'll leave it to people to come up with their own judgments here, are now calling for Weiner to leave. And Republicans who had no problem with David Vitter staying in the Senate, and Larry Craig and John Ensign wasn't forced to resign by the Republican in the Senate, are now saying that Weiner has to leave. So, I mean, it's all about political calculation. The political calculation of the moment for the Democrats is they thought they had the Republicans on the run with the Ryan budget and Medicare, and now they feel like they're talking about Anthony Weiner's Twitter pics.
There's another contrast here, though, that I think is really quite damaging to the Democrats, and that is of Congressman Chris Lee, the Republican from New York, who did something sort of less egregious. He put out a picture of himself shirtless on Craigslist, looking apparently for a date. He was gone, and the Republicans are going to point out that contrast.
Karen Tumulty, national political reporter for the Washington Post, and you're listening to the Diane Rehm Show.